want to be
Hello.
but their habits are poor and ordinary. Talking is not enough.
You must do. Talking is not enough. You must put in the work.
You must develop the habit of following through with your word. When you say you're going to do something,
you do it.
It's called
integrity. I love this. Can you hear it?
You build pride for yourself and respect from others. When you don't, when you talk the talk and never walk, you lose pride and you lose respect. Repeat to yourself every day. If I say I'm going to do something,
I do it. Hey guys, can you hear me okay? I was just playing a little of my favorite Fearless Motivation, and I just have to say it is my favorite one. Hello, Crystal. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know if you can hear me. Hi. You can hear it, Kendra? I'm so glad. Where are you all listening from? If you don't already know, my name is Charity Murphy, and I live up in farm country in Northern California. I am getting ready to move next month to Los Angeles. That is actually where I grew up from. Okay, thank you, Suzanne. I am so glad you can hear me. Anybody else? You can hear me? All right, let's get this party started. I love this is one of my favorite topics, one of my favorite subjects, something I do every single day, and I am so pleased to get to share this with you. Let's see, where do you live, Kendra? Let's see, you are listening from, I can see this. Oh, Nova Scotia, look at that. Thank you, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Okay, I am so pumped about this. I don't know if you heard what I was playing in the beginning. Sometimes when I play from my phone into my computer, the sound gets a little muffled, but we'll be talking about some of my audiobooks a little bit later on. So today I wanted to bring to you some of my favorite personal developments and audiobooks. A little bit about me. So I am naturally one of those optimistic people. As a little girl, I was always like looking on the bright side, and even now, I am totally. I always try to look at the positive side of things, and people are always commenting like, how do you keep your positivity? And how do you stay motivated? And I have shared in some of my live streams earlier this week, and I usually try to share this with people that I know, but where do I even begin? So I guess I could start from a place when I was feeling really dark and bad in my life. I was married to somebody who was very abusive, and any chance that he got, he was calling me names and belittling me and really putting me down. And it was really hard for me because I'm one of those people who I was always looking at the positive side and always trying to put my best foot forward. But when I was in that abusive marriage, I had to get really good at working on myself and working on my mindset, because if you followed my post earlier, about 6 or 7 years ago, I had this moment in my life, in my world, and even before that, I remember this day, I was sitting in the backyard, and my baby girl was probably about 1, and I just remembered breaking down into tears, just like crying and sobbing, that ugly cry that you only do when you were feeling emotionally empty, physically empty. I was in a very bad place. As I shared before, I was addicted to sleeping pills, and every time I went to the doctor, I was asked asking for a higher dosage. I think I was taking the highest dosage of sleeping pills. And then every day I'd be drinking caffeine throughout the day. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I was drinking, the vitamin drinks and I never drank Rockstar or Go Girl. I did once and that was funny, but I was drinking caffeine all day and I was just really stuck in this terrible place in my life, in my world. I just felt extremely stuck and I didn't really feel like I could do anything. And so that is when I started to feed my mind with positivity, because I was living in this really bad situation in my home and I felt just emotionally exhausted all the time for many different reasons. And a lot of it has to do with the bad situation I was in my marriage and my life. And this really isn't a talk to bash my ex-husband. He has really done a lot of really wonderful things in his life, and he's really changed himself, and I'm really glad. Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to go through the hard times to make the changes in your life, and I'm really proud of him that he's been able to make some changes. So please don't think this is a talk about, ex-husbands and blah, blah, blah. We are both really good in our lives, and I'm happy to say that we're both able to be good parents to our daughter. So I just want to put that disclaimer in there. I really decided at that moment when I was sitting in the backyard sobbing, crying, that I looked at this daughter of mine. She was just a baby. And I thought, what? There has to be more for me. There has to be more for her. There has to be, I have to be the example of positivity and radiantness to my daughter, because I don't want her to grow up thinking that it's normal for a mom to be depressed and sitting on the sidelines and not having any energy for life. And so I started to make some changes. I stopped watching TV. I know that sounds crazy. I have TV, long story. I don't have a TV right now, and my house was broken into and my TV was stolen. So I have cable, but I don't ever turn it on to watch it because it's like a better deal to get TV with your internet, whatever. So I stopped watching TV. Before, I was watching 6, 7, 8 hours of TV every week, sometimes maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. I turned off the news. I turned off all of the distractions, and I started feeding my mind with positivity. And I will never forget the day that I picked up my first personal development book. And this is book number 1. So take notes. This book is so beautiful. Let's see. It's called The Slight Edge. Can you guys see that? Seriously, this book changed my life. I remember reading it, and this isn't my original. Oh no, look, this is my original copy. I read this book and I started taking notes. Look at these pages. I don't know if you could see, but I was underlining, taking notes. I had a notebook and I was oh my gosh. I love this book, and just reading, just holding it. I haven't read it in a little while, but it's oh my gosh. So there's a quote in here. It says, "Every day, in every moment, you get to exercise choices that will determine whether or not you will become a great person, living a great life. Greatness is not something predetermined, predestined, carved into you, into your fate by forces beyond your control. Greatness," listen to this, "greatness is always in the moment of your decision." And in this book, I believe that we are all destined for greatness, and we're all born with special gifts. And this book really hit home for me. I was seriously taking notes. You can even see in the back of the book, I was I just remember Jeff saying in here that the decisions you make over smallest decisions, over time, they could make over time, it's the slight edge. It's kind of I don't know, I can't see it. But, you make these small decisions every single day. And over time, they can either make you great or make you not great. And so it really made me think about the things that I do every day, the slight edge. This book really just taught me a lot, and I've given it to so many people because it really changed my everything. Another book that's like it is The Compound Effect, which I really love it too. But this was my first personal development book that changed everything about my life. Like, you know, when you do one little workout, it's going to make a big change in your life today. Well, yeah, you'll feel better, but over time, you're going to start to feel better, and the endorphins are going to help you like feel amazing. You're going to start losing weight, and you know, those small little decisions you make every day make a big change over time. So this is my first book. It changed my life. I absolutely love it. Have you read it? Anybody? Comment below if you have. Okay. Let me get to my next bullet point, my next book. Okay. Goals. This book right here, this was probably the second book that I read, and it completely changed my life. I don't know if this is my original copy, but he has a quote in here. It says, "A goal, however, is something distinctively different than a wish. It is clear, written, specific." Hi, Hillary. Is clear. Okay, let me read it again. A goal, however, is something distinctively different than a wish. It is clear, written, specific. It can be quickly and easily described to a person. You can measure it. You know when you have achieved it or not. This book, I'm serious, I read it, and I remember somebody told me I needed to read this book, and I read it at a time that I really, really needed it. And I remember at the end of every single chapter, there are little homework assignments, and it tells you, you know, I have the audiobook too, but I'm going to tell you, you guys really need the printed version because it really makes a difference to sit and write down your goals. And I just remember I did everything that Brian told me to do, Brian Tracy, and I just remember sitting at this time in my life, very like hard time in my life. I just left my ex-husband, and I was like, okay, they told me this book's going to change my life, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to do everything that I needed to do. And so one of the assignments in there is to write down your goals on little 3x5 cards. And so I did this, and I might cry reading this, you guys. I read this book at a time in my life that I really needed to make a change. Like I told you, I did think I'd be emotional. I really needed to make a change, and I just pulled up these cards. He told us to write out our goals, and so I did. And I remember putting these away in my book and moving a couple of times, and I found them a couple of years later. And the one that's on the top right now, I'll just show you. I wrote this. Can you guys read that? You probably can't. I'll read it to you. It says, "I have a happy home life." That was one of the goals I set for myself. And it's like, I didn't think I would feel this way, but I'm happy to say that I'm no longer in an abusive marriage. That was one of the goals that I set for myself when I read this book so many years ago, and it changed my life. The other 10 goals that I wrote in here, I wrote out, I want to be a good example to my daughter, and I feel really good about the example I'm setting to her. I sleep well at night. That is one of the goals I wrote. I wrote these out 8 years ago, you guys. I sleep well at night. Well, guess what? I'm no longer taking sleeping pills, and I'm no longer addicted to caffeine. I wake up and I have energy every day. I'm not going to read them all to you, but let's see. 10 goals. I am my daughter's teacher. That was another one. I ran a half marathon. You guys, I've run 17 since I wrote out this goal. I've never been a runner. There is so much power in writing down your goals. I cannot even begin to tell you how powerful this book right here is. It completely changed my life, my world. So I highly recommend it. Sorry for the lights. Definitely get this book. There is so much power to writing down your goals and visualizing them. I did every single thing in this book, and I accomplished every single one. It's time for me to read it again because, when you write down your goals and you visualize it the way that he teaches you, there is so much power, so much power. Has anybody here read that book? I would love to hear if you have. Okay, let's see my next book. Oh my gosh, I love this one. You Are Badass. This book right here is so amazing. Let's see. She says, one of the things you could do to improve your world is to improve yourself. If you want to change your life, you have to change yourself. You have to change your mindset. I cannot stress that enough. I remember I was listening to this audiobook, as I was running a half marathon. I had just been injured and I was in a place that I really needed it because this run was extremely hard for me because I had just sprained my ankle. And I remember listening to Jen Sincero. I love the audiobook and I absolutely love the written book. I've read and listened to this several times. But I remember I was running this half marathon, listening to this audiobook, and I needed the inspiration because it was really hard. And I had just sprained my ankle, you guys. This was about a year ago. I was listening to it and something really sad. I mean, for me, it happened. I got swept. And if you're a runner, you're not running fast enough, they'll tell you you're done. I had only run 6 miles and they told me you were done. And all I have to say is at that moment, you need this book, Suzanne, you really do. At that moment when I got swept, I felt devastated. If you're a runner, you know that it's devastating, especially because I had run already 15 half marathons and here I was with an injury. I only did half of the race and I felt extremely depressed. But at that moment, I was listening to You Are a Badass and I felt like a superhero. And while it was devastating, it really was hard for me to experience that, but because I was already listening to this book and feeling like I was a badass, I felt really good. And this is a book I have to hide from my daughter because she's like, "Oh, Mom, that says a bad word." So if you have kids, you might not want to pull it out. I don't know. My daughter is very, very sensitive to words like ass. She heard me say it once. She was furious with me. I think she's still mad at me, and that was like 6 months ago. All right, so The Miracle Morning. This is another really, really beautiful book right here. I love this one. So he has a quote. You are where you are because of who you were, but where you go depends entirely on who you choose to be. It is a decision. The Miracle Morning is a really great book. It gives you an outline of the things that you should do every morning to get your life and your day started. I absolutely love that book. And then, of course, this is the last one, but not the least. I love Daniel Laporte. I actually became a Desire Map certified facilitator so I could teach this to people. And I believe so strongly about the Desire Map and her whole philosophy on setting goals, because too many of us set a goal and it's based on like where we want to go in life and what we want to do, but we don't really think about why we want it. And she really teaches that you should set your goal based on how you want to feel rather than a thing. So she says, Danielle, knowing how you actually want to feel is the most impotent form of clarity you can have. So if you're setting a goal and you're feeling like I did several years ago, like so tired and so depressed and so like blah, and you can't do anything in life, you really have to think about how do you want to feel? Instead of like, I want to be a size, whatever. Think about, I want to set a goal because I want to feel amazing. I want to wake up and have energy to do the things that I love. I want to be able to put on my clothes and not have to hide my body. because I hate the way I look, or I want to be able to zip up my jeans because I want to feel good about myself and I want to feel good or whatever, don't set your goals based on a thing, set them based on how you want to feel. And this book right here gives you so many tools and tips and tricks on how to really tap into that inner person that wants to be let out. When we really tap into how we want to feel when we're setting goals, that is where the magic happens. All of these books have dramatically changed my life in so many different ways. So I am constantly reading and I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. I have the Audible app on my phone. I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. I have so many on here. I just love it. The one that I'm listening to right now is Business Boutique. It is like a business builder book, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. The other book that really changed in my life is Money and the Law of Attraction. The app is free. It's connected through Amazon. So if you have an Amazon account, you can get a free Audible account. And I believe your first download is free. I highly recommend it. Like if I showed you how many, like, can you see my phone? Let's see. Sorry. So I have like pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of audiobooks in here. So many. I can recommend so many of them. Another book I really loved is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Let's see, goals. I have that on here. The Magic of Thinking Big. So good. Yes, you definitely need this. I am constantly listening to audiobooks. Let's see, Punch Fear in the Face. Hello. A lot of us are so afraid to reach our goals and reach higher and bigger and do bigger things because they're afraid of failure. I highly recommend that book. Let's see here. You're a Badass, The Desire Map, Girl Code. Absolutely love Girl Code. Oh, I loved Warrior Goddess training. The Universe Has Your Back. Yeah, there are a ton. I highly recommend them. I'd be happy to give you a list of other books that I've read. Let's see. I'm suddenly downloading books on my phone. I don't need to download them all. I absolutely love listening to audiobooks. I'm constantly listening to them. Sometimes I have to tell myself, all right, it's okay to listen to music, because when I get in the car, I listen to my audiobooks, and I have Spotify. I love Spotify. I have a paid account, and I love Fearless Motivation. You guys, that is what I was playing at the beginning. My word is probably the most powerful speech I've ever heard, and I listen to it almost every day. Some of the friends and my friends that I've shared it with are like, I don't really like it because I feel like the people are yelling at me. Because some of the speeches I'm pretty sure are like sports, like coaches, like trying to motivate their team. It really resonates with me. There are other ones on here that I found. Now, Fearless Motivation, you can buy the book. Or not the book, the download on iTunes. I think you could buy a DVD. They're on YouTube. Yeah, my word. It is on here. I will send you a link. It's so beautiful. For me, it just like every day I'm like, I need to show up for my goals because I gave my word. And I gave my word. Remember that when you gave your word, whenever you set a goal and you sell yourself short, you're not just letting yourself down, but you're letting other people down. And it's like a 3-minute speech. Sometimes I play these in the Jeep on the way to school, and my daughter's like, Mom, stop talking to me. I'm listening. And I try to do whatever I can to infuse her with positivity and motivation, and especially, it's hard when you're a kid. She's 9, she's in 3rd grade, and some of the things she comes home and says, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're talking about going on diets and being fat and this girl this and that, and it's like, oh, it breaks my heart. So I do whatever I can to infuse her with positivity. We listened to Girl Code by Kara Atwell-Leba a few months ago. I guess it's been about 6 or 8 months ago, but she absolutely loved that book. There were a few F-bombs and A-bombs in there, and despite those words, we still loved it. And I had to explain to her, like, I didn't know they were going to say those words. But if you look on through my videos here on my page, you'll see that she actually wanted to do a live stream with me and talk about Girl Code and how much she was enjoying it. It is really powerful. If you guys have any ideas for other podcasts or books, I would love to have you comment below. Because I am always trying to infuse my daughter with positivity and give her the skills that she needs to be a successful girl and not care about what other people think. It just breaks my heart how girls are today. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you guys about some of my favorite podcasts. That's another thing that I do. And I will tell you my top 3 favorite podcasts. Okay, you ready? I love Style Your Mind. That is by Kara Atwell-Leba. My second one on the list is The Charged Life by Brendon Burchard. I love Brendon. He is amazing. And then School of Greatness, which is Lewis Howes. He does amazing talks and interviews on his podcast, and I love it. I love listening. So as promised, I said I would give away one of my favorite books to one of the people who is here live, and I would love to send Crystal a book. Thank you for joining me, Crystal. If you are on, I would love for you to send me a private message, and so I can send you a book. Okay, congratulations. So does anybody have any questions for me about any of these books, or how I keep my motivation or anything? Woohoo, Crystal! I'm so glad that you're still on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Send me a private message so I can send you a book. And you're very, very welcome. So you guys, one of the things that Hillary and I are really focusing on in the Fitpowerment is the trifecta of success. And we are going to really be infusing, or we already did, I should say. We already put the program together, but we are really going to be talking about mindset and how important it is to have a positive mindset, because truly I feel that if you do not have a positive mindset, you will never be able to accomplish the goals that you set out to do if you aren't infusing your life with positivity. Because if you are still feeling bad and still feeling whatever, and you're not setting yourself up for success every single day by listening, reading, surrounding yourself with positive people, it's going to be harder to reach your goals. And so I would love to have you get on my list if you aren't already. Hillary and I are going to be doing a webinar tomorrow and talking more about how you can join the Fitpowerment. The Fitpowerment is a state of mind. It is all about empowering women and helping each other reach our goals. And it's really not just about women, because we want you to invite your husbands and your daughters and your mothers and your best friends, because you know, when you have your whole family on track, you are more likely to succeed in your goal. So we're going to be talking more about that tomorrow. And I just want to say that you guys, you deserve to wake up and feel amazing each and every day, not every so often. As I shared before, when I began this, I was in a place not that long ago that I was depressed and I was hooked on sleeping pills and I was struggling to get through the day. And now I'm 42 and I have way more energy than I did when I was in my 30s and even in my 20s. And I just want to say that you deserve that. You deserve to feel amazing. You deserve to reach your goals, but you really got to work on your mindset. I want you into, Crystal. I can't wait to work with you and welcome you to the Fitpowerment. And I am looking forward to talking with you. If you are on my list, you have my phone number. I want you to text me. Let's get on the phone. Let me help you answer any questions that you might have. And let's do this, sisters. We deserve to feel amazing. You deserve to wake up and feel great when you look in the mirror, and feel great in your mind, and feel great in your life, and accomplish every single big goal that you have. So my name is Charity Murphy, and I am a certified health coach, and I help women make big changes in small steps. That is how you make massive changes. Small steps every single day. Like I shared in the Slight Edge, those are the little things in your life that will make the biggest difference. Those small things that you do or don't do every single day is going to give you success or not bring you success. And they say that the people you surround yourself with today, the books that you read today, the audio books that you listen to, the things that you feed your mind are going to shape who you are tomorrow, and who you are in 5 years is going to depend on what you do today. I changed my life, and this is my gift, is sharing how I've done it with other women and men, and I look forward to helping you. If you are on the list, let's talk. Let's do this. Join me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we are going to blow your mind with the Fitpowerment. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go get my workout on now. Yes. It's one of the other things that I do to feel amazing every day. All right, thanks for joining me. Yes. Michelle, I will send you a message. I love you too. I love you too. Anybody else have any questions for me before I get off? Thank you so much, Crystal. I'm so excited. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go, and we will talk tomorrow. Bye. Love you guys. So fun.